Hi, welcome to the Modern Renaissance Man Show. I'm Ben Copeland, Modern Renaissance Man. Glad you can join us on this probably a public access channel because we haven't gotten all rich and famous and able to get picked up by network TV yet. But we're working on it, maybe one of these days. Speaking of the rich and famous, Donald Trump. Now there's a touchy subject for you guys. Hey, let's get on a limb here. Donald Trump. How did he get a star, a Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame? This is something I want to hear about, guys. How did Donald Trump? What has he done? Oh, he bought a couple beauty pageants. Ooh, he's got a show about firing people. Hey, there's nothing creative there. I'm sure that's pretty old hat for him. He got a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That's like 2,370-something people, and he's one of them now. Osama bin Laden has been in more movies than Donald Trump has. Why doesn't he have a star? Come on, people. I guess if you got the money, you can buy your star. Speaking of buying stuff, let's talk about CMS. You know, the Can't Manage Stuff school system. CMS. Recently, it was discovered that they're throwing pretty much brand new textbooks in the trash. I've actually seen these textbooks. I think one was an English and the other one might have been a science. Brand new books. CMS. I think you need to be using them to teach and not to fill up the recycle bins. Gorman, what are you spending your $300,000 on? Let's don't waste them on trash books. CMS, come on, get your act together here. Talking about schools, I always like to have things equitable in life. And what I found is that there's an increasing drug problem in the private schools in the Charlotte area. Quite a few of them seem to be having some problems. And what I want to say is, just another example of the haves versus have-nots. Here we got all these poor schools, and they just had all their drug problems for years, and now the private rich people just have to jump in and take over and have their own drug problems. So much for the lower middle class moving forward. Speaking of problems, I think I'll talk about a little more serious one on the soapbox. We're seeing this show, probably you're seeing the show around the end of February, March time frame. Around the 1st of January, a very unique situation occurred. A young boy who had been kidnapped for 4 years was accidentally discovered while authorities were searching for another kidnapped child. Well, the story turned out well. They've recovered both children. The thing that bothers me is what is going to happen to this person, this alleged kidnapper. What should happen to kidnappers who take people like that? This is what I think. This is a hard line. Now, some people may not like this. I think kidnappers of children should be treated as a capital crime. I would like to see some severe punishment. I think these people should be treated as murderers. This kidnapper, like others, took somebody, and even if they're recovered, their life is gone. They are no longer the person they would have been. A life has been killed. It should be treated as murderers. I'd like to see our politicians step up and start creating some laws that basically eliminate these people. This guy will probably get out, or another kidnapper will get out in a few years on parole, able to do it again. Destroyed one life, now can destroy another. That's murder. I would like to see something done about that. It's about time our government really acknowledges that crimes against children are heinous and should be stopped, instead of focusing on other issues like, maybe energy, that they aren't doing anything about that. Maybe wars in foreign countries, which are not doing anything about that. Maybe focusing on political campaigns. That seems to be something that they seem to be pretty good at. Lots of people run with millions of dollars. I bet you could take some of that money, give them to some police departments, and maybe you might curb some of this. Let's stop these child molesters. Let's do something about this. Here's an example. You copy a DVD, a movie. You could get a couple $100,000 fine. You could possibly go to jail. Hey, but you can go out and kidnap a child, and you might get 6 months. Good behavior. Is that acceptable? Come on, politicians. Come on, Washington. Come on, local governments. Step up and say, no, it's not acceptable. Kidnappers of children are basically the equivalent of murderers. Let's eliminate them. I want to hear a presidential candidate, I've never heard one yet, talk about let's put an end or let's curb the rising molestation of children in this country. You don't hear that in their old campaign speeches. Let's hear a politician talk about they have zero tolerance for crimes against children. You don't hear that in their speeches. I like to see child abusers treated like the murderers that they actually are. They're killing a child, and the equal treatment, I think, needs to go back. And that's the way I feel. And with that, while I wind down a little bit here, I'm going to turn it over to Trip Rogers, Jeff Chester, who got some great tunes for us as usual. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Ben. This song is a traditional Scottish folk song called Mary and the Soldier. Far and away over yon Highland hill, there lives a comely maiden. She's gone out on a fine summer's day to watch all the soldiers parading, and they look so neat and they look so bra. The drums they rattle and the pipes did blow, because young Mary had a sigh and say, "Oh, follow the young healing soldier." Mary, oh Mary, my pay is but small, and if on the battlefield I should fall, you'd be so far from your own father's hall to follow the young soldier. Say raw, the drums here rattle and the pipes did blow, because young Mary had a sigh and say, "Oh, follow the young heathen soldier." I've got 50 pounds in store, and I've got a heart worth a whole lot more, and I'll give it all to the boy I adore, to follow the young healing soldier, 'cause they look so neat and they look so raw. The drums they rattle and the pipes they blow, to cause a young Mary to sigh and say, "Oh, follow the young healing soldier." Far and away over yon Highland hill, there lives a comely maiden. She's come out on a fine summer's day to watch all the soldiers parading, 'cause they look so neat and they look so broad. The drums they rattle and the pipes they blow, to cause a young Mary to sigh and say, "Oh, follow the young healing soldier."
All right. All right. Excellent tunes, guys. Appreciate that. What we're going to do is we're going to have Trip and Jeff join me over here. We're going to do some in-house kind of chatting this evening. Decided not to necessarily pull in any guests, but you're going to see some coming up. We've got some strange things coming on this season besides our normal strange things.
All right.
Of course, we haven't done this always. I got to run the host cam here. We've got a lot of people out here now that are trying to do their own host cams. Nobody's giving us credit, guys.
You did it first. We know you did.
That's right. We had the host cam, and we definitely have the Roman host cam. We even have the Roman host cam operator. She's going to be on a future show.
And that's not the same as the Greco host cam. It's Roman host cam. Greco.
I got to get a picture of you on that.
Sorry. It's lame.
Okay,
I know.
that's
I'm sorry. It's
that's
just,
okay.
yeah.
That's all right. I didn't bring a movie tonight.
What? I ran out of the house. I thought about 3 different movies I could have grabbed on the way out, and I totally forgot.
Well,
so.
feel free. Yeah. Me too. Well, I was actually got home last night. Had to change brake pads on the car, so I had a good excuse.
Yeah, that is a good reason.
So after about
I just slept. I was just asleep.
Okay, so anyway, no movie, but we'll just blame George.
Right.
For those of you just tuning in for the first time, if you have problems in life, your spouse is not doing what you want, your children are not going to sleep when you really need them to, you just don't really like CMS.
If you don't have a job.
You don't have a job. blame
George.
We blame George for
Absolutely.
everything. We blame him for the weather. We blame him for Katrina. We blame him for the war in Iraq. We blame him for Hillary Clinton.
Now wait a minute.
Speaking of which,
Right.
guess what?
What?
I got 2 things I'm going to bring up. There is a rumor, basically, that says the modern Renaissance man may announce a candidacy
Really?
for president in 2008.
Really?
Yes. It's actually out on the internet.
Really?
Yes, it is.
That's pretty. I thought about running for Pope this last time, but
So talking about running
had
for
a
the
gig.
internet, and that, and it says that supposedly on this show that I would make an announcement about am I running for office, and right now I can't commit to any kind of announcement.
really?
I guess if I had some emails or some things, if you want to email me at mrm@together.net or check out the Weenie website blog at www.mrmtv.org. Let me know your thoughts about having a modern Renaissance man in the White House. Somebody could actually, fix the plumbing at the same time they might actually fix some of what's going on in the country.
So you're thinking about running? So it's possible presidential campaign, not,
Well,
not
that's what
something
the internet
local.
reports. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
the internet's reporting that that there's some kinds of.
Can I be Secretary of State?
That's possible.
Trip could be. What would you be?
I can drive the car.
Well, hey, we could be the official presidential
right.
minstrels.
Well, no announcements yet. No announcement of whether or not we're going to have a modern Renaissance man compared to some of the candidates I've seen out there. Speaking of which,
Queen Elizabeth has her own bagpiper.
Does she?
Yeah, Ben can have us.
she has her own what?
Queen Elizabeth has her own bagpiper,
Yes.
has the personal piper to the Queen. So we could be your personal minstrels in the White House.
The secretaries of eclectics or something.
Secretaries of Groove.
Speaking of another new slogan to come up with that show is "Merriment is a necessity."
Yes.
If you're not enjoying life, go to the library, get you a good video. Price is great unless you're late. Get you some movies and get a brain dead movie. And just sit back and watch a good brain dead movie that is not a whole lot of heavy drama, just something that's nice and exciting. Harry Potter movies, I love them. I'll play a Harry Potter movie anytime. Yeah, and I just think they're just wonderful. Actually, I wrote some of the show, sitting around, and I threw
yeah?
Harry Potter on and do it. Yeah, so you can blame Harry and George both now. For those of you that don't know, the band, Jeff here, Trip there, in case y'all aren't, have websites. Feel free to check out the websites. You've got Trip Rogers. Trio.com.
TripRogers.com.
TripRogers.com.
Oh.
Just TripRogers.com.
There's no trio on it?
Not on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, just
I
for the
stand
address.
corrected. Excuse me. I just click on the little thing now that I have, so I don't know what's behind the URL anymore. Then you have gilwarning.com.
Yep.
So those are 2 websites. If you can't remember those, just go to mrmtv.org and it'll point you there. Go check out the websites and see what the band's got coming up. Future shows. Oh, you going to jump in?
No, Trip also has another musical endeavor. I mean, we all have like 5 or 6 different musical endeavors that we're involved with, but Trip has a new one called Thistledown Tinkleberries. What is it? Thistledown?
Thistledown Tinkers. It's another Celtic band, and Mr. in touch with his feminine side thinks the name is just too gay.
I just think there's something about it. It's just, but if you like it,
I think it sounds very merry.
it's your band.
Yeah, there's
Anyway.
merriment in that name.
There's lots of merriment in that name.
Of course, with things like this going on, all you have to do is watch out for the outtakes and things that we'll be showing in other shows in the future. So it's going to be interesting how this will probably reappear. Roman host camera takes. The Roman host camera operator, Kate Copeland, gets about and shows some things. Before we go in, I got some topics I want to jump into. But a couple of things I want to throw out here is that now that Donald Trump owns Miss Universe, Miss America, do you think he's going to buy like Mr. America, Miss USA, and declare himself the winner? Maybe shove some tissue in his jacket.
Right.
you know, Mr. America. I mean, if he can get a star on Hollywood,
He could do pretty much
he
anything
pretty
he
much,
wants.
you know, I mean, he's pushing Ross Perot for being extravagant. I thought Ross Perot was after buying the Magna Carta. I mean,
right.
You know, that was pretty cool. You know, I guess it's hard to top that.
True.
You know, so here's an idea I want y'all to think about. Coming in the future, I'm going to surprise this on my green room manager and the financial manager for the show. Thought about doing an outdoor show.
Really?
As it warms up, which a couple months out, on the big deck on the back of my house.
Sure.
We could do some tunes, and maybe if we can pull together a few outdoor cameras and some things.
We'll be back there
And,
barbecuing.
we'll have some
during the show.
barbecuing
That'd
stuff
be
going
great.
on.
Playing in the
And
sprinkler.
we got a multi-tiered deck, and
He looks great in a Speedo.
yeah,
So, you know.
we don't have any pool, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying, playing the sprinkler. We'll just cut some
Okay.
holes in the hose, dance around in the water.
I don't really want to see him standing with an electric guitar or anything electric in speedos in water. But some outtakes will work. You're
Yes,
right on that.
indeed.
So let's put that. If you're interested in seeing an outdoor show, watching us have a blast on the
That would be
deck
a lot of
and
fun.
and bolly dogs and burgers and whatever else we throw on the grill. Let us know.
Not to do the comparison, but you know, Dave Letterman
But you will.
did. But I will. Dave Letterman did a couple of shows where he was on an airplane, on like a private jet, and they did the whole show.
Well, I'm
on
still
a
waiting
jet.
for the airplane. I would do that
Right,
one,
right.
but I can't. That just
We could do
doesn't
that.
seem
Maybe
to be
if
happening.
we didn't take it off.
We might could
take
go
off,
out and
we
stand
just-
outside the airport.
That'd work. That'd
You know,
be
go down
that'd be
to
cool.
Monroe.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
because you can't get close enough for Charlotte, they'll arrest you. We go to Monroe and act like it's a big airport.
Yeah, that'll work.
So anyway, may do that. Here's what I brought some stats, and I have no clue what to do with them. I was going to go over it. You hear a lot of talk now about bringing the soldiers back because it's so dangerous in Iraq. And we might jump into something here.
Yeah.
But it's really dangerous over there, and I don't disagree. But I decided to do some research and into the number of deaths in the United States. And basically, statistically, it's almost like it might be safer to move to Iraq and live compared to the United States. So it's sort of like if you're talking about bringing them back, are you not actually introducing them into a greater harm's way, forcing them to come back and live in the United States?
I don't mean to laugh, but yeah, because that
I
is
mean,
kind
really,
of serious.
if you
but
start
yeah,
looking at the number of murders in the United States against per capita, I've started looking into some real estate over there that, you know, we might could go. The schools can't be any worse than CMS.
Well,
you know?
we're paying for them, so they can't be.
So
No.
if you go to a public school over there, I mean, you know. So.
But you're right. I mean, basically, in America, if you step out of line, somebody's going to shoot you in the head, and that's the
Here's
bottom
another
line.
one for you, though. It's, the FBI. People talk about using the internet for stuff, and it really comes down to that organizations put their information actually out there for us to look at. It's not just to get in around. The FBI site is a cool site to learn all kinds of stuff about what's going on and what's not being done with regard to crime. So go out there and look at the statistics. 240,000 sex crimes were performed by illegal aliens
Really?
in 2005. 240,000 just by illegal aliens.
Wow.
I think we should look at some property in Iraq, maybe.
Yeah.
It might be safe. Look, if you do something over there, they pretty much whack you.
Well, and
It's pretty much over.
And as long as we tell the Iraqis that we're Canadian, we're fine.
That's true.
We're not going to mess with
Good
us.
night, mate.
Yeah.
That too. It doesn't matter.
Well, that would be safer.
That's
than
better.
we're
That's better than
American
where
as
we
well.
are. Let's talk about who's going to be the Republican candidate coming up. I hadn't really heard much of anybody.
I have no idea who's even. Has anyone even announced?
Oh, that's right. You got John
McCain.
McCain. Is he still alive?
Yes. now, folks, if anybody cares about my opinion, and everybody knows what a left-wing wacko artist musician type I am,
No.
I would not mind. I think John McCain would make a fine president. I was really.
My concern,
hoping,
though, is that I think he would have made a finer president about 10, 15 years ago.
I wish he had gotten the nomination 6 years ago. I think he would have made a fine candidate.
I
Very
heard-
fine president.
Some say, I love that phrase. Some say
Some say.
that John Kerry may switch parties because if you can't buy the Democrat Party, maybe you can
Right.
buy the Republican.
As long as he doesn't
Some
say
say.
anything, we're fine.
That's right. He gets himself in trouble. I got this poster at home that at work. It says all these guys over in Iraq. It says something like, John, please, John Kerry, and then misspelled everything. Help us, we're stuck in Iraq. And these guys are making fun, royally fun. Some kind of Marine unit or something making fun. He got nailed for that one, poor old Kerry. I don't know. But he's got the money.
Well, McCain, did you see when he hosted Saturday Night Live? Did anybody see that? He hosted Saturday Night Live and was just an absolute scream. I mean, he just did not take himself seriously, and I just saw a whole new aspect of the man
He's not a bad guy. I don't know. I have no clue anybody else that's.
I don't either.
That can possibly come in on it.
We could run.
We
could.
But and they say an announcement may be forthcoming at the Modern Renaissance Man.
There you go.
That
could be it.
May announce. Here's one for you. Did you know that China owns millions of dollars in U.S. Treasury bonds?
Yes, I did know that.
Did you know that?
No, I did not know.
I mean, they basically own part of our country. China does.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that? Yes. Owns Treasury bonds. Think about that. I mean, here we have a communist country that's basically got a better economy than what we have right now. They're averaging 10% growth in China. But then again, anybody only works for 50 cents a day.
Right.
But actually 10% growth. So, they'll be up to $1 in about 5 years. But they own treasure. Who allows? This is the kind of people that we have in government now who make it legal for communist countries to buy in controlling factors of our country. Who is allowing this?
Well, it doesn't matter what the political party is because the dollar amount is still the same.
The thing is, either party should be doing it. I don't care what party is.
Well, but it's.
I think there should be some restrictions that say we don't sell treasury bonds to communist countries.
I don't have a problem with that.
That'd be like over there. Imagine old Bin Laden having. He probably does. That's probably how he's making his interest.
Yeah, probably.
To finance his war. So. Anyway, so speaking of war, what do y'all think is the solution to Iraq? The biggie. What do you think, Trip?
Oh, if it was easy, then somebody would have thought of it by now. I know.
What would you like to see happen?
I mostly would like to see our guys come home. That's just it. We're at a point now where I think everybody in the country knows somebody who's there, or knows somebody who has a child there or a relative there, and it's just getting real personal for everybody. And I think most of us have forgotten why we went. I'd just like to see them back here.
All right, Jeff, what do you think?
I don't know what the answer is. I agree. I think it's it's a travesty that we're there. We were sold a bill of goods, and basically soldiers were sent there on a lie, basically, that the administration sold us. Okay, that everybody, we all seem to kind of agree on that. But how to end it, I don't know, because if the troops just pull out, it's going to be chaos, and that chaos is going to spread. And whether it's oil or whatever, it's not going to be a good situation. And so right now, and I know this is airing in February, March. Right now, tonight, as a matter of fact, the president's going to make his State of the Union address, which supposedly he's hardly going to touch on the war in Iraq because it's such a touchy issue. And
I want to hear him talk about child molestation.
He's wanting to do the surge of troops over there to get things under control, and I don't know what else is going to work to get it under control other than sending a bunch of troops.
Ending on a strange thought that I had the other day, amongst the many others. One of the reasons we went over there was supposedly weapons of mass destruction. With some of the deviousness that goes on behind the scenes in some of the paramilitary organizations in this country, what if they actually found them and decided to keep them and didn't tell anybody because of the other countries that are around there don't think then there is anything there.
Right.
So it could be actually something ugly. And with that, we're going to have to end, and I'm going to let Jeff and Trip get over and for closing out on some tunes. We're going to pick back up on some more interesting political discussions up here in about a month or so join back in at that time. What I would like to do, though, before we leave is, as always, I want to thank my volunteers. Dano, you're the man. You're my director. Dino, I guess you should say, Dean Smart doing audio, assistant director. We've got Ryan back here. All the camera crew out here to make this show happen. The best girl, Kate Copeland, who also does the roaming host cam. You'll see some of her coming up in the future. Jennifer, who manages my green room. I couldn't live without you. We have a wonderful time. Hopefully you're enjoying it. And stay tuned for future shows of Modern Renaissance Man. I'm Ben Copeland. And with that, we'll go out with some nice music. Thanks, and have a good evening.